Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Ying. I'm coming from the Nanjing University of the Arts. My title is Dissociation, Identity and Integration, the Silk Road Project of the Silk Road Music Organization. I will talk about four aspects about it. The first is research background and significance, and the second is core research questions. The third is theoretical framework, identity, and diaspora. And the last is globalization sheet of opportunity. The historical Silk Road ancient network connecting viewership, developing exchange of goods and ideas and culture. Modern musical organization founded by Yo-Yo Ma in 1998. Their core mission examines the cultural music of the Silk Road, shared heritage, found versus references in living traditions. First, cultural fusion. Their significance a case study in cultural identity, globalization, and music's role in a connected world. In this organization, many members live outside their cultural homeland. Traditional music is from its original and recontextualized with a new global ensemble. Musical becomes a dialogue between memories and the present reality. It is a conscious act of perceiving and transmitting identity. So stressed understanding of both one's one culture and others. The ancient trade route known as the Silk Road functioned as a network connecting diverse peoples and traditions across Eurasia from the first million BCE until the middle second million CE. Inspired precise by the intermingling of cultures and ideas along this historical pathway. The Silk Road Music Organization draws from this rich legacy of exchange. As a non-profit artist, cultural and education organization, it brings together artists and audience from around the world to bridge geography diverse, sharing music with over 7 billion people. So it brings together 24 musicians from various countries who collaborate creative, retrace the journeys of the ancient Silk Road, transcend barriers of race, nationality, and language, and through communication deepen mutual trust as they strive toward a common goal. This article explores the current music activities and creation stage of this music organization to understand the significance of this music form for isolated groups. It explains how foreign cultures, when colliding and integrating with the mainstream culture and of the United States, bring about cultural choice and diversity. It also examines how music activities showcase their cultural complex in this unique cultural background, thereby revealing how isolated groups achieve cultural identity recognition and generation new thoughts and understandings for the development of China's original ecologic music culture. So the core research question is, the Silk Road Music Project is a process of musical identity, a dialogue and a reflection. Most of the organization's members have lived for a long time in detached areas far from their own national culture. They exist as a dispersed group and represent regional cultural codes. Therefore, when the dispersed communities face the changes in the new cultural space of an immigrant country, the traditional culture they brought from their homeland gradually withdraws from the original cultural space on which they live and enters a completely new cultural space, beginning a process of adaptation and integration. For them, performance not only represent cultural integration but also represent the cultural dissemination responsibility they bear as a dispersed group. So the third theory framework, identity and diaposaural. Identity originally belongs to the realm of psychology, representing harmless or the same issue in a changing context. In the modern sense, identity refers to the self-identification of an individual in a society shaped by modernity, centered on the self. It involves the confirmation of one's identity, unfolding and functioning with the framework of various differences such as gender, age, class, race, and nationality. Each difference axis has a dimension of power, and through the differences in power among peoples acquire their own social differences and thereby identify their own entities. Identity is both a psychological process and a practical process. Indeed, people in different ethnic groups and regions all have different material worlds, spiritual lives, and various differences. Every people belongs to the group, space, nation, and country. In a central sense, the process of cultural identity is actually a process of change, and Harry points out understanding the process of change is one of the most important and fundamental goals of anthropology. Nowadays, due to the cultural prejudice of the majority of peoples, it has become very difficult to understand the process of change. This cultural prejudice makes them tend to view change as a progressive process, believing that all cultural identities and the process of change are predictable. This notion, along with other ideas, often leads them to consider different cultures as backward. However, the Silk Road Music Organization does not hold this view. The different histories, cultures, characteristics, and customs they represent come from different countries. Each person brings the roots of their own national culture and takes root here, using their own strength to maintain cultural integration and inheritance. In the context of technology progress and economic development, it is necessary to identify with culture in an appreciated way as a source. Through the influence and of the culture, one can remain true to oneself, maintain one's own characteristics, and achieve rapid development. So the last one is the globalization trade opportunity. The issue of globalization and its changes have always been of great concern to the ecumenical community. According to American scholar Henry Robertson, globalization began along with the great geographic discoveries. From the 5th century to the 7th century, European fleets appeared on the oceans of various parts of the world, seeking new trade routes and trading partners to develop the newly emerging capitalism in Europe. Along with the overseas expansion of the European industry economy, globalization began still in the regions that were being imported, gradually colliding, reorganizing, and integrating with the economies and cultures of those regions. Some scholars believe that in 1978, China began the process of integrating into the world and aligning with globalization. During these 40 years, China integrated into the world system, evolving from initials responding passively to later actively participating in globalization. In the context of globalization and the widespread concern of humanity about ecological and environmental issues, cultural ecological problems are issues that the academic community has paid attention to but not yet been placed on the agenda. Through the Silk Music Organization project, the fact that we can observe is that some ethnic cultures, such as in uh, Iran and so on, have already fallen into a situation of gradual decline and extinction. So, generally speaking, many young people of in ethnic minorities no longer wear their own ethnic customs, no longer recognize their own ethnic languages and groups, no longer have a passion for their own ethnic-oriented folk songs, and rarely retain their ethnic customs and living habits. Many original things have truly gone extinct. In contrast, the Silk Road Music Project, the global music activities of musicians, establishing cultural connection, inheriting their own ethnic music culture, and using these means to protect the original ecology. This is what globalization has brought to them. Karen, a member of the Silk Road Music Organization, once said, "Identity is determined by oneself. You decide the formation and development of identity." Regarding the evaluation of the music organization, opinions vary greatly. Some people think that although they blend traditional and foreign cultures together to some extent, they are also diluting the tradition, and the public is paying for the tradition. The author, on contrary, holds an opposite view. In the process of globalization and cultural integration, during the process of integration traditions, they will be the disappearance of central things. Original ecology is difficult to maintain. We cannot at the same time yearn to maintain the originality of the culture by hoping for further cultural integration. There is no unified relationship between the two, and it is paradoxy. The Silk Road music. That's all. Thank you all for your listening.
Thank you, Zhang Ying. So, for our listeners, do we have any questions for the speaker? มีใครมีคำถามไหมคะ Okay. So, thank you for sharing about the Silk Road. It's a very interesting project. I am also a fan of the Yo-Yo Ma recording since back then. So, very delighted to hear your presentation. So, give a round of applause to Zhang Ying one more time. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.